Good evening and welcome to DJN TV Tonight. I'm John Young and I will be going through tonight some tips and ideas and thoughts on how to make some money through social media online to where you can start a side business or be able to make some additional income with some different things that you could be doing online. Now, I'm not going to be getting into direct sales too terribly much in this. So if you're one of these people who want to find out how to go and sell, a multi-level marketing type thing, that's not what I'm going to be covering at all in tonight's show. But we're going to go through some thoughts and ideas behind that. If you're joining us out on Facebook or YouTube, thank you for joining us. If you're watching this after the fact, that is awesome. I'm just going to get a couple of things all set up and ready to go here because we've got a lot of channels going on. If you have any questions, you can pop into the chat. Just put those down in the chat. I should be able to see those as they pop up. And I'm going to share one more link here before we get going. This is the djntv.com/help. This is the link, the djntv.com/help. That will is our training area for the DJN TV area, where you can go into that. You can click that link and sign up to be in that. We've got about 100 training videos in there right now. We're going to be adding more this summer as we start our convention series training on Monday night once again, coming up here in June. That area is free to access right now, so you can get in there, go through and do a lot of the educational, taking advantage of some of the slower time that we have. Excuse me. Jump in there, do that. So djntv.com/help will be the promo code will be entered and everything's good to go for you there. So please do that. Again, it's free. All you have to do is sign up for that right now. Robert Elf, we got a few muted. Doesn't seem to be muted. Just a second. I can check. Hey, check. That one's good. And that one's good too. So check your speaker there, Elf. It's got to be something on your end. It looks like everything's working on this. So let's jump into this. Thank you guys for being with this evening. So first up, for a lot of the things to work, to be making money online, specifically from websites that aren't doing a ton of direct sales, you really have to be creating content that people are looking for or that people want. Just to go and do something where it's something that you think that you're really good at, if no one's interested in buying it, you're going to waste a lot of time. You've got to find that little niche area of something that you know quite a bit about, something that you can help other people with, and create content based on that. That content could be text content, posts and educational writings that you do. It could be video content that has some text with it that could be part of what you are creating of value. It could be maybe you're funny and you're writing humorous stories. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe you're into artwork or something. Anyway, whatever it is, you've got to have something that you're creating that people find interesting. Now, that doesn't mean you have to. That's the only way. It might be something that you're going and curating content from a variety of different sources. Maybe your niche area that you're into is painting, like painting houses. So you find a lot of content that revolves around painting, and you can share that on your website and social media channels as a resource for educational articles for that. Whatever it is, it has to be something that you are having content, because really what you're trying to do is you're trying to build an online community. When you build that little community of people who are on your Facebook page or on your website, you're able to do things with that. If no one's going to your pages and no one's going to your website, there's absolutely no value to it, and you're not going to be able to do much of anything to make money off that. When you have an audience and when you have a community, that's when things can happen. And some people are in the right little niche areas where it doesn't take many people to create a community that has value to advertisers. Some areas it's very crowded and you could have 100,000 people on there and it's still not a great value because there's other places and other people that have more and they're going to get more of a nod over you. The idea is you want to create an audience and connect with them and make that community a group of people that advertisers will want to kind of market towards, and also people who are coming back consistently and who are very loyal to what you're creating. So once you have that community, there's a variety of different things you can do with that. And you've seen some of these things happening. I mean, right now in the DJ world, you look at the DJ Vault, what Joe Bunn and the crew have done. They have created a community around the DJ Vault, and they've been able to offer training to them in the DJ Vault. Then they've been able to go and offer sponsorship. Within the Disc Jockey News, what we've been able to do is we've created a portal, and we have it so that people are coming in. And I have a variety of different blogs for those of you who don't follow me that closely. We have a lot of different little websites out there that are doing a very similar thing. We are putting together content, creating content, and in some cases pulling content from other sources to this one location. And then we're getting traffic from people who are coming in to go in and check out this content. That allows me to be able to do different things to make money. Now, we're not selling a ton of educational content. We do have our membership area for the DJ and TV area, which again, djntv.com/help gets you in there for free right now. But it isn't a big push on our side to have that. We could have, once we have the audience, we could have it where we're selling people levels of something. Say if you're going to be doing training on cooking, let's go with the cooking thing. Maybe you are a fabulous chef and you are an incredible baker, and you're going to offer training around cooking. You're going to do videos on cooking. You're going to do some articles on cooking. You're going to be linking back and forth and sharing your content, building this audience who are excited about cooking. And then maybe you have a starter cooking course. That's your $19.99 cooking course. Then you have a $100 cooking course that's more in depth. And then maybe you have some private coaching. There's ways that you can take that concept of building an audience and then to be able to offer them more value and more service at a price. It's never going to be one of these things where you're going to you're not going to be making a ton of money off one sale, most likely. What generally the way these things work is that you're making a lot of sales, and you're making a couple of nickels off a lot of sales, and all those nickels eventually add up. So when you're doing this, you're not going to get rich quick. If you get lucky and some things work out, you can make money on it, but not right away. So you have your community. You're going to try to make something, and sometimes some of that income could be on I want to make sure that I have. Okay, so some of that income that you can have could be from selling them content. That's a tough one to do unless you are a natural teacher and a natural charismatic person behind the camera, or in front of the camera, excuse me. But it can be done. A lot of people, what they're doing is they're creating these portals, and they're using a couple of different areas of developing income. The one area that a lot of people are doing Google AdSense, where they're putting in the AdSense code is really quite simple now. It used to be more difficult. Now it's very simple. You can take that, drop it into your website, and then Google does the rest of dropping ads in and such that are pertaining to the types of articles and the types of person who are coming there. Google AdSense is a way of generating money. High traffic websites can generate quite a bit of money. It's not uncommon for a high traffic website to be generating $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 a month. Even today, when things have tightened up an awful lot, most websites, even our website, is not doing that. I mean, we have a variety of websites. If we do $25 a month in Google AdSense revenue, that's a good month. It's not a high dollar thing. It's all about traffic. If you have more traffic and you have people clicking through and such, it goes up from there. But it's not a great way for most people, but it's part of that strategy of how to make money off that website. Another way to do things is, and this one's probably a little more lucrative for a lot of people, is affiliate marketing or affiliate links within your website. And of course, you have to designate these as far as to say, hey, that this is an ad, or this is an affiliate link if you're going to be utilizing that, and not if you're telling them to go buy it here, you need to, hey, go buy it here. This is an affiliate link and I'm going to make money off that. That's if you're encouraging them to buy at that link, that's what you need to do. But affiliate links basically is a traceable link that people will click on, and it will go to Amazon as an example, or Kmart had a nice affiliate. Many places do. One of the biggest ones right now are web hosting places. Blue. I can't even remember which one. What are they? I had it in my notes. Bluehost. But a lot of the web hosting places have actually very aggressive affiliate payments. Generally, you're making somewhere between 1% commission and sometimes all the way up to like a 20% commission on sales, depending upon what it is and how much. But some of these software things can be very, very lucrative. You need to create content that's of interest, that's related to it. Then the link is there and people are like, hey, I'm interested in streaming as an example. And here's a great article about streaming. Oh, and by the way, here's some links to some of the products that if you click on it and buy these products, you're going to help support our page. Buy them here. And then they would go off and go buy those products. And then you're going to get the affiliate money for that. Amazon is one that we use quite a bit. And Amazon is very easy to set up. Once you have your Amazon account, you can go through and do a couple of other clicks there. You can go at the very bottom of the page, click on Become an Affiliate. You can put together your own Amazon web store where you're selling other people's things, but basically you have gone and curated a lot of things based on your ideas and interests, what have you, that you can recommend. So that's all part of the Amazon experience there, and it works fairly well. It's not the greatest return on things, and there's about a 3-month lag. So right now, I think the check that we got the other day, or the credit we got the other day from Amazon, is maybe from December yet, or January, whatever. It's a few months back, but it is additional income that once you're set up and once you start putting these links into your articles or your stories or your videos, it does become that residual money that keeps coming and keeps paying. So getting back to so you're teaching people and such, and you've got this audience, and you want to start selling things. A lot of times when, like the Vault and such, they have a membership program, but you can do one-off sales, and you don't have to have a progression to go and do some online courses. A lot of people you're seeing right now are giving online courses away, and that's partially because money's tight and no one wants to spend any money. And another side of it is that some of these content creators are kind of bored, and this is their way of doing something, which is great now, but in 6 months from now, a lot of that's going to go away. They're busy trying to build an audience right now to their message and to their words, and building that customer base for the future. But once they get to that point where people are back to work and now they're wanting to grow their business or grow this part of it, having online courses, some of them which could be live, some of which could be a paid and on-demand system. Online courses can be a very lucrative thing, especially if you're in a niche area that people are willing to pay for an expert to help guide them through. This is an area in which I probably could have done something in the last 6 weeks or so, because the number of calls and things for counseling that I've done with people who wanted to live stream has been just incredible. There are some days I took 8 calls from 8 different people asking questions about live streaming. I didn't charge it for any of that, of course. It's just what I was doing. But looking back at it, that would have been a prime opportunity for something that if I would have had an online course on streaming ready to go when this happened, I probably could have sold some, $29, $39, $49, whatever it is, access to the online courses. So this is an area you've got to be able to do it and do it at a fairly good level. Really, it's all about giving a return. It doesn't have to be the cleanest video. The audio has to be good. It could be shot with a cell phone. Audio has to be solid, and it has to be intriguing and entertaining. It doesn't have to be the most well-produced and big wipes and all this cool stuff. It can be just solid content presented in a way that people will pay attention to the content rather than the glitches or the problems of the video. If there aren't the major glaring things like that interfere with the consumption of the video, the content will come through, and that's really all it takes to create content in that realm. Some people are able to make money when it comes to online things because they create their content. They're getting sponsors that will help cover the content, especially if you're in a niche area where you have an audience of 10,000 people, but it's a really tight niche area. People will come to you, or you can solicit to them, but you will have sponsors that want to reach this 10,000 people if you've really been able to identify who they are, and this audience trusts you enough to make recommendations and things and respect your opinion that they will do business with those sponsors. Sponsorships can range. Some companies will pay a little niche audience that's a good, solid niche audience. They'll pay thousands of dollars to reach them for a 60-day campaign. That happens quite a bit. You're going to find as we go forward, 30-day and 60-day campaigns from some of these companies are much more viable and possible, and they'll dump more money into that than a 12-month campaign. It's just the world is changing, and you're not going to see 12-month advertising contracts in many of these areas like we did at one time. So sponsors are going to be out there. They're going to want to do some things, but they really want to make sure that they're hitting the person they want to hit, which is, again, getting back to building your community in that niche audience. So you can say, yes, my average person is this, and this, and I have 10,000 of them who are ready to go and, be that community. So sponsorship is definitely a way to do it. Another thing some people do is that they have created like ebooks. You've probably seen some of these where you can go and they have a small ebook that you can go and, hey, here's a 10 days to better cooking in the kitchen. Just sign up here, and the community. That's the way they start the process of building that community. And the contacts is that 10 days to more healthier cooking in my kitchen. I want that. Email address and go, and they download the ebook. Now that they've gotten that, you can say, hey, I hope you like the book. Now I've got this other book that 90 days to a new life through cooking. Whatever it is, you can start to create ebooks like this that don't take a ton of money to do, and it's all done digitally, so there isn't the printing cost of it. So once it's done, it doesn't matter if you sell one or you sell 1,000 of them, your costs really aren't going to go up at that point. But ebooks are a great way to be able to give value and give content, and to help people who sign up for a free version of something, or they might sign up for the first 2 chapters of the book. Then they can get to know you, get to trust you, they like what your content is, and then move them into buying of those books. Books can be, I've seen some that are selling for $30 that have been like 50 pages. Some are 100 pages, 150 pages. It doesn't have to be this huge 500-page novel. It needs to really, it's all about the quality of the content. I would rather have a 50-page document that is quality content that I can look at, read quickly, that's in a logical progression of the content, than to have this huge volume that has a lot of fluff and things in there that just don't pertain to what I'm looking for. So I'll get to some of the questions here in just a second here, because I'm going to buzz through these. So if you have questions, I can see. It looks like Facebook and YouTube are both showing up in the chat here tonight. So I'll get to those. So another area, once you have your blog up, there's this thing called sponsored posts that you will have people contacting you 2 or 3 times a week asking if you would do this. Some of these sponsored posts are from legitimate businesses. Say, again, we're back to our cooking. You may have a Faberware kitchen. I think they do. I think I've seen Faberware. I think that's one of them. They're a pots and pans. Maybe they want to do a sponsored post on your website where they would basically create the content. You would copy paste, put it up there. It would have links to some different spots on their website to talk about their cookware. Sponsored posts can be anywhere from a $50 post. Some of them will pay several $1,000s to have a post on your website. The biggest advantage is that in this case of their cooking, they're coming from a cooking website that's a legit website that Google is liking because you're creating good content. They're going to get those links from your website to their website. So not only will your audience see and they will click over, but it's a Google thing. They're buying some extra Google love by coming from your website to that. Most of the ones that are contacting us for the Disc Jockey World are offering somewhere between $50 and $200 a post. I haven't taken posts like this because probably half of them are online gaming things. And these online gamings are the ones who are going to pay $200 a post. And some of them will do this 3 or 4 times a week. It could be really good money and lucrative money. I just don't feel good about that. And that's something as a content creator, you have to figure out, is it something that you're going to be able to sleep well at night, knowing that you've exposed your audience to these types of sponsored posts? I'm not good with that. I don't like that concept, so I haven't done that. So there's a few ways. Your affiliate, we can do some ads. We can do some sponsors and do ads around, some banner ads around in different places. Like in this video, across the bottom here, you're seeing some of our sponsors. There's a lot of different ways to make money off it. If you're just starting out, you're not going to be able to find the sponsors. You're really going to be working on a combination of affiliate work, and you're going to be working on a combination of some Google AdSense things. They'll help, and that'll get you there, but it won't be something that will make a ton of money. You're building, this is, when they talk about something being a sprint or being a marathon, online money generally planned for the marathon. You may get lucky, and all of a sudden you hit it, and you got people coming, and you've got a great content in that niche market, and it gets to the right person who's like, oh my gosh, check out this awesome cooking channel. They have got the greatest stuff. And the right person tweets that, You can go from 20 to 10,000 subscribers like that. So you want to make sure website and everything is good and easy to use, whatever. It can happen. Most of the time, it's going to be a marathon. The final spot I wanted to talk about is YouTube. YouTube is a spot, of course, where a lot of you are watching tonight. Some of you are on Facebook. You can make money off YouTube ads. You'll see the ads coming up on our videos. There will be a bar that shows up sometimes over the videos. YouTube pays so much per 1,000 views. As a content creator, I get paid a percent of the money that they sell the ad for. They get a smaller percent. I get a larger percent in this equation. So it works out pretty well, except it's not a great pay. For the 1,000 views, it could be somewhere from $2 a 1,000 up to one of our other channels, which is more of a niche market, will be up to sometimes hitting almost $15 a 1,000. Now you think about that. If you have $10,000 10,000 views a day, not dollars, 10,000 views a day, and you've got a $15 per 1,000 going on that particular, well, that's 10, 15, so $150 a day times your 30 days. That becomes a very, very lucrative little website, or I should say a little video channel that is going to start that process. And as you add more views and more things going on, it can become a really, really a good way to make revenue. With YouTube, you have to, first off, have 10,000 subscribers. Then you have to have over, I think it's 4,000 or something like that. I don't remember. Some large number of hours of viewage in the last 12 months. Or is it 40,000? Anyway, when you do a search for monetization on YouTube, the point is that you have to be in business long enough. You can't just throw something up and then get lucky and have a lot of subscribers and be monetized. You have to have the viewage time in hours to be monetized. You have to have enough subscribers to be monetized. Then once they've approved that, then you are able to make some money. An interesting thing, a couple of years ago, some of you might remember, we had our Disc Jockey News, Weekend Handyman, Weekend Handy Woman, Weekend Sportsman, and there was another one. We were trying to get these channels all up to those numbers so that we could keep the monetization. Because the Disc Jockey News was doing its amount. The Weekend Handyman, Handy Woman, and Sportsman were actually doing as good or better than the Disc Jockey News, because we have the handy ones here, and a Sportsman, which was basically outdoor fishing type things. They were doing better because they were getting a higher dollar rate per 1,000 views than the DJ one was. So we wanted to keep those all. Turns out we could only one or two of them. Disc Jockey News was good enough, and the Weekend Handyman was good enough because that was the oldest or the one that had been around the longest. The other ones fell just a little bit short. I went and looked at it just the other day. The Weekend Handyman views are good, very good. The Weekend Handyman or Handy Woman views are really quite good. It's doing well, but because it doesn't have enough subscribers, there's no monetization. So on one hand, let's say that they're paying with the Weekend Handyman, let's say they're paying me $200 a month for Google. The Weekend Handy Woman has all of the same types of views or numbers. So there's $200 there that's not being paid to us as content creators because we don't have enough subscribers. So hopefully that'll get itself fixed, and we'll have, as more people subscribe to that channel here in the next few months, that will be. But that's the reality of it. You can be right there on the edge of success or on the edge of becoming to make money on it. But if you're not there, you're not going to make any money on it. So YouTube is, again, one of those things that's a marathon most of the time. But it may not be quite the whole marathon, because sometimes people have had a toy channel. And what I mean by a toy channel is they're reviewing toys. They've got a couple of cute kids that have start reviewing channels. That gets into a whole new world of ads aimed at children. And then there's some that have one of the most successful ones was a husband and wife team where she just opened the toys and showed them. And that was pretty much the extent of what they did. They unboxed, and it was all unboxing of toys. And there were thousands of people who were watching these things, thousands. They went from 0 to 10,000 subscribers like within about 10 days. And then it went to 1 million subscribers within 3 months. They just went absolutely crazy, and they were making over $30,000 a month here within 6 months of their launching of that channel. That's a lot of money to be making unboxing toys, but it can be done. So those are some of the ways. But the biggest thing is finding that thing that you are knowledgeable about, you are passionate about, and then creating a community based on that. let's go hit a couple of the questions here. I think we got a lot of people with us. Howie and Robert and Scott and Edward. Yep. Right now, of course, people are trying to do things where we're playing online, doing some of the online streaming of our shows and such. The problem with that is that there's no money in that. It's just something we're doing now that is hey, we're keeping ourselves busy. There's some people who had the tip jars out in the first couple of weeks of the tips jars. Some people were making $50 a night. I heard one person made $200 for a night. Those have since completely dried up as far as I've heard. I don't think tip jars are doing much of anything anymore, so people are not doing anything with that. Edward asked the question about fundraising on live DJ streaming. First off, the live DJ streaming, if you've been on Facebook and you've been able to stream on Facebook, you're lucky because they have been shutting people down. We're not seeing as many as we did before, and the ones we are seeing, most of them are playing either their own music or they're playing such heavily mixed and re-drummed music that the spiders or the little Facebook algorithm isn't catching it and picking it up. If you're playing pop music or if you're playing top 40 stuff, you're going to get caught and you will get the soft ban. And if you get 2 soft bans or 3 soft bans, your channel could be in danger of your account, your personal account being basically shut down completely. The soft ban means basically that you cannot live stream for, it might be 5 days. There was a 3-day one. There was a 5-day one. There's all sorts of different ones. I got hit with a 5-day one a couple of years ago. That was my first one. I think it was, but I think I've heard people talk about a 3-day one also. The bans are there. So live streaming, you're going to have to find a different way. Mixcloud and Twitch TV seem to be the 2 that people are using the most right now. There's going to be other things coming in the immediate future because this is such a hot area and there's companies trying to jump on that. You can stream there and do your thing. You got to pay to do Mixcloud. It's just the way it is. If you're going to find something of quality, you're going to have to pay for it. Now, getting back to the question about fundraisers. If you're doing a fundraiser for a community, like if you're doing something for the local Chamber of Commerce, or that's a bad example. If you're doing something for the local Girl Scouts or something for the school, or maybe doing it for the local hospital, raising money for food for the local, whatever. If you've got a good thing behind you, then you can kind of advertise it through some of the chamber and other businesses. You have something there. And there's ways then you can do your mixing and such or whatever you're going to do and try to keep the music so it's not going to get caught. You don't want to be streaming on someone else's channel, especially if you're streaming on their account and their channel, because if you're streaming on their account and their channel and they get the soft ban, a lot of people don't understand what that is. We see it in the DJ world all the time. But you get, Nurse Jackie from the hospital that wants you to do an online fundraiser on the hospital's page. Yeah, Nurse Jackie's not going to like it too much when she all of a sudden is banned from using Facebook because of the music we did. So it is possible. You can do some things with that. You're going to have to do a lot of mixing. You're going to have to do some tempo changes or pitch changes of the songs to hide them and cover them. You may be dropping a beat behind those. You're going to do more talking over it, but you can do fundraisers online. Facebook has the ability to donate to the fundraiser if you've set things up properly. I just don't know, without having a community connection, if you're doing a fundraiser for your own self, I don't think it's going to fly. I don't think you're going to make any money off that, and it's going to look self-serving. If you're doing something for the community, it could function and function well, but I would just be cautious on how you're going to stream it to make sure that Nurse Jackie's Facebook page isn't going to get ruined. Trivia parties. Scott mentions trivia parties. Trivia parties are something that some people have been doing, and they've had the tip jar out for the trivia party. Some people have tried to pay or have people pay to be part of the trivia party. One person I had talked to is actually trying to do subscriptions to it. Hey, do a 1-month subscription to the trivia party. I'm going to be doing it twice a week, and you can jump in, and it's only going to cost you $20. Trying to get any way that they can generate revenue. The thing I just want people to putting all your, just hoping that something like that would work. While it's a neat thing is that there's, if people have to pay for it, they're going to go look for something else. There's we're going to jump back into earlier now when we were talking about affiliate marketing. If I were going to be doing a trivia night and I had an audience, Let's say I had my local audience here who just absolutely love my trivia show. I'm going to keep doing my trivia show, but what I would probably do is on my website, I would set up an affiliate area. I would put maybe 10, 12 items there, and I would rotate the items each week or maybe even each show. So let's say we did a Tuesday and Thursday trivia night. On Tuesday nights, we might be featuring, hey, this week for trivia, we're going to be talking about 80s stuff. And you know what, gang? I picked 12 of the coolest 80s products I could find that you guys are going to want to have for your home that are 80s related. And just to bring you back to that, and here's the links, and it's, DJ John Young /80s. They go there, they go to the Amazon thing, the Amazon affiliate page links there, and they're like, oh, hey, let's go check out. What is this? They go click on it, they go to Amazon, look at it. They might buy it, they may not. They might go look at 2 or 3 things. They might buy, they may not. But maybe they're in Amazon, and they're like, I had this thing, I needed to buy this pencil eraser because I need a pencil eraser. And they go click pencil eraser, and they go buy, and they pay for it. Well, because they clicked from my Amazon affiliate link to Amazon, there's a cookie that's embedded. And now this becomes on my session. So I'm going to get credit for whatever they buy. So if I have 1,000 people I'm doing trivia for, and if I can manage to get even 10 of them to click, if I can get 100 of them to click over, and if I can get 10 of them to buy something, that means that there's going to be a little bit of revenue generated from those purchases. Obviously, if I can increase those numbers and have better products and find out what people are buying, I can maybe make it so that I'm doing a little bit more. So I could be using trivia and I'm monetizing that trivia, but not in a way that most of the folks are, they're not paying anything out of their own pocket. It's just they're doing what they would typically do, is shop on Amazon. And yet I'm able to monetize that. So anyway, that was just an idea if you wanted to do online parties. So anyway, I'm going to wrap things up. I wanted to go about a half an hour, and that's pretty much what I'm at right now tonight. So thank you guys for being with. We'll be back at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock Eastern. Dan and I are going to go into dealing and talking about and really laying out the concept of micro weddings and what that's going to look like this summer. It's looking like the numbers and such, their venues and such, I shouldn't say, restaurants and bars are going to be open at a period of time. They're down to 25% capacity is what we're hearing as a common number. Maybe some will hit 50% capacity. The concept that our events this summer are going to be 100% or less is there's a good percentage chance of that. 50% or less is probably what we're going to see for the summer of 2020. Creating micro weddings and doing some things with that. We're going to get into our next show and kind of brainstorm of what's included with that, so that if you get the chance to go and someone calls and says, hey, I want to do this wedding idea here, and how can we make this 20-person event special and cool? That's what we're going to talk about in our next show. So once again, thank you guys for being with tonight. I hope you've had a little insight into a way to maybe make some money online. Good night, everyone.